Very warm, very cordial welcome is extended to each and everyone this morning as we come together in satsang, as we come together in puja, as we come together to offer our love and our adorations to Bhagwan. This morning we welcome especially all persons who've joined us physically here at the Mandir at 40 Todd Street in San Fernando, as well as we extend a very special welcome to all of the persons who are viewing us online, either on YouTube or on Facebook. Shubh Swagatam. This morning, as we join together in this very wonderful day, this very beautiful morning, we do so with that sense of love for Bhagwan. Today, we join with all members, or indeed all communities of the Western Hemisphere in particular, as we've designated this day, the third Sunday in the month of June, as Father's Day. So our service this morning will be led by the Sri Sivak Sabha, the mothers of this Mandir, and will indeed be dedicated towards our fathers today. As we begin with invocation, we reflect fondly on our fathers and those persons who perform the role of fathers in our community and in families, as well as those fathers who are no longer here physically with us. And I know for some persons that this is indeed an emotional morning, an emotional day when we reflect, but I invite you to do so with that sense of love, of all of the wonderful and all of the cherished moments that your father would have left with you and those wonderful memories. Let us begin, therefore, by invocation, and I invite everyone to stand as we engage in our pratna this morning as we commence our satsang. Hari Om Shri Ganeshaya Namah. Om Sri Saraswatye Namaha. Om Shri Guru Charan Kamalebhyo Namaha. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvara Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Kshama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swadha Namostute Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Mandir Jagadguru Nagindraharaya Trilochanaya Bhasmangaragaya Maheshwaraya Nityaya Shuddhaya Digambaragaya Tasmai Nakaraya Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandram Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaye Pataye Namaha. Om Manojavam Marutatulyabhegyam Jetindriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Bhatatmajam Vanadiyutamukam Shri Ramadutam Shri Namami. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. My dear, please resume your seats as we engage in opening kirtan.
Jai Krishna Hari, Shri Krishna Hari, Dukhiyon ke dukh dur kare. Jai 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 Krishna Hari, Jai Krishna Hari, Shri Krishna Hari, Dukhiyon ke dukh dur kare. Jai 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 Krishna Hari. Jab विष खोवी अमृत करनी पूरन कर दी सबकी आशा पूरन कर दी सबकी आशा जो भी तेरा ध्यान रे जो भी तेरा ध्यान रे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे जय कृष्ण हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे दुखियों के दुख दूर करे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे
Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. We continue this morning with Chalisa as we are led by the group, and we invite everyone to join together. This will be followed by Panditji leading us in Bhagavad Gita this morning, and then we will hand over to the President of the Shri Sivak Sabha to take us through thereafter.
We join in reciting in the mantras of the Shiv Chalisa. Jai Ganesh Girija Suvan Mangal Mool Sujan Kahat Ayodhya Das Tum Dehu Abhay Vardhan Har Har Jai Shankar Om Har 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 Jai Shankar Om Har Har Jai Girijapati Deen Dayala Sada Karat Santan Pratipala Bal Chandama Sohatni Ki Kanan Kundal Nagapani Ki Angagaur Shir Ganga Bahai Kundamal Tan Charakadai Vast Khal Bagambar Sohe Shabhi ko dekh naag muni mohe Har Har Jai Shankar Om Har 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 Jai Shankar Om Har Har Naina maan ki hove dulari Paag ang sohat chabhi pyari Har Trishul Shatrun ko bhari Sada Shatrun jayakari Nandi Ganesh sohe kaha kaise सागर मध्य कमल है जैसे कार्तिक श्याम और कनराऊ
हर जय शंकर ओम हर 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 जय शंकर ओम हर हर
एक कमल प्रभु लागे उजोई,
कमल नयन पूजन छह सोई
कठिन भक्ति देखे प्रभु शंकर,
भये प्रसन्न दिए चित बर जय 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 अनंत अविनाशी करत कृपा सबके हटवासी दूष सकल मित मोहि सतावे प्रहरित रहे मोहि शरण आवे हर हर जय शंकर ओम हर 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 जय शंकर ओम हर हर
रागी रागी में नाथ पुकारो,
यही अवसर मुहियान उबारो है त्रिशूल शत्रुन को मारो संकट से मुहियान उबारो मात पिता भ्राता सब होई संकट में पूछत नहीं कोई स्वामी एक है आस तुम्हारी आय हरहु अब संकट भारी हर हर जय शंकर ओम हर 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 जय शंकर ओम हर हर
धन निर्धन को देव सदा ही,
जो कोई चाहे सो फल पाही
स्तुति कही विधि करहु तुम्हारी,
क्षमहु नाथ अब चूक हमारी शंकर हो संकट के नाशन विघ्न विनाशन मंगल कारण योगी अति मुनि ध्यान लगावे शारद नारद शीश नवावे हर हर जय शंकर ओम हर 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 जय शंकर ओम हर हर
नमो नमो जय नमो शिवाय,
सुर ब्रह्मादिक कारण पाया
जो यह पात करे मन लाई,
हापर होते हैं शंभु सहाई
दुनिया जो कोई हो अधिकारी,
पाथ करे सो पावन हारी
पुत्रहीन कर की इच्छा कोई,
निश्चय शिव प्रसाद सही होई हर हर जय शंकर ओम हर 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 जय शंकर ओम हर हर
वंदे त्रयोदशी जो कोई नामे,
ध्यान पूर्वक होम करावे
त्रयोदशी व्रत करे हमेशा,
तन नहीं तागे रहे कलेशा
द्रुपदी बने देन चढ़ावे,
शंकर
पूर्णकीन करुणा।
प्रेम से बोलो श्री उमापति महादेव की जय। गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो, गोविंद बोलो हरि
गोपाल बोलो,
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो, गोविंद
बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो,
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो,
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो,
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल 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 बोलो,
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद 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 बोलो। प्रेम से बोल श्री गोविंद कृष्ण भगवान की जय। All those who are here who know they have to come sit by me, come sit by me now, please. It could be bigger children too, it's all right. Okay. Anybody else? Come sit by me and sing with me. Ah, very good, Viti. Excellent. Sit here. Very good, son. Have a seat too. Sit around. How are you? Very good. Give them a round of applause for coming up. So we sit upright and we do our Dhyanam now. So can you see over there? We're going to have the words up, all right? Next time I will remember to bring my copy. पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवतां नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवेद्वेषिणी नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुलारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्रः येन त्वया भारततैल्यपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृत सर्व उपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतां वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum Shri Krishnam Vande. Oh, Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum Shri Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru. Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum Shri Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum.
Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru, Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru.
Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum Shri Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum.
Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru,
Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru.
Again, Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum Shri Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum.
Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru, Shri Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru.
Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum Shri Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum.
Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru, Shri Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru.
Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum Shri Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum.
Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru, Shri Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru.
प्रेम से बोलो श्री गोविंद कृष्ण भगवान की जय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. Today we have the privilege of reciting from the Bhagavad Gita. Remember to take your Bhagavad Gita books. Son, can you bring me one so that I can tell everybody what page we are on? Yes. You can bring two. Thank you very much. So you can have as well. Sanjana, Shivam, come son. Come sit with us up in front. So we're reading from chapter 5. Very good. Excellent. I like your pose. Chapter 5, we are at verse number 21. And that is in the Bhagavad Gita that you have at page 75. Everybody has gotten it? Did we remember to bow by Bhagavad Gita Mata first? Excellent. And today we have Shruti and Vineet reading for us. Come Vin, come Shrut. We need a microphone. So you here, I want you to read too, all right? Let me see who could read the loudest. All right, well, the sweetest then, right? Om.
Sitaram.
Sitaram, Hari Om.
He whose mind remains unattached to sense objects derives through meditation the sattvic joy. Who dwells in the mind, then that yogi, having completely identified himself through meditation with Brahma, enjoys eternal bliss. The pleasures which are born of sense contacts are verily a source of suffering, only though appearing as enjoyable to worldly mind people. They have a beginning and an end. They come and go. Arjun, it is for this reason that a wise man does not indulge in them. He alone who is able to withstand in this very life before casting off his body the urges of lust and anger is a yogi, and he alone is a happy man.
He who is happy within himself
Enjoys within himself the delight of the soul, and even so is illuminated by the inner light of the soul. Such a yogi, Sankhya yogi, identified with Brahma, attains Brahma, who is all peace. the sayers whose sins have been purged, whose doubts have been dispelled by knowledge, whose disciplined mind is firmly established in God, and who are devoted to the welfare of all beings, attained Brahma, who is all peace.
To
those wise men who are free from lust and anger, who have subdued their mind and have realized God, Brahma, the abode of eternal peace, is present all around, shutting out all thoughts of external enjoyments, with the gaze fixed on the space between the eyebrows, having regulated the prana, outgoing and the apana, incoming breaths, flowing within the nostrils. He who has brought his senses, mind, and intellect under control, such a contemplative soul, intent on liberation and free from desire, fear, and anger, is ever liberated. Having known me in reality, as the enjoyer of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme Lord of all the worlds, and the selfless friend of all beings, my devotee attains peace.
Continue to the end. Thus,
in the Upanishad, sung by the Lord, the science of Brahma, the script of Yoga, the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna, ends the fifth chapter entitled The Yoga of Action and Knowledge.
Govind bolo Hari Gopal bolo, Govind bolo Hari Radha Ramana Hari Govind bolo, Govind bolo Hari Gopal bolo, Govind Radha Ramana Hari Govind bolo, Radha Ramana Hari Govind bolo. Prem se bol Shri Govind Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Today, because of the time, we won't go into the meditation because I would like the ladies to ensure that they have enough time. I know I've encroached on your time by 5 minutes. So I will hand over now. Thank you very much to the children who have joined me. Please, you could return my parents now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Panditji. Before I hand over to Mrs. Tiwari, I believe the children of the Bahal Vihar class have prepared an item to be presented. I'm trying to get the eye contact of our teacher. Yes, Jaya, right. So we'll invite the children who have prepared the item. 2 children, yes, to please come forward. And if we can assist them with the necessary microphones and technical equipment required. Once the item is presented, and these are the tiny ones of the Bahal Vihar class. And again, for those of you present who are not yet students of this Bahal Vihar class, we do invite you and urge you to join. And for those persons in particular who are looking on and are in Trinidad and Tobago, we invite you to physically bring your children to the Mandir every Sunday while the Bahal Vihar class is conducted, so that your children will enjoy the benefit of these classes. It is indeed a wonderful opportunity for all children to be able to participate, to be able to learn, and to develop that confidence as young Sanatanist Hindus and as young people to be the future leaders of our country. This is where their confidence is built, and this is where their knowledge is gleaned and acquired. And we therefore urge you very, very strongly to allow them to be part and parcel of this very noble venture. We also want to congratulate our teachers, Jaya and Shivma, who every Sunday, please give them a round of applause, give of themselves and their time and so on to be able to ensure that our children are properly nurtured and catered for. These are the investments that we make today that will reap the dividends that we require and that we so desire in tomorrow's future. Without further ado, therefore, I hand over to members of the children's class while they're getting themselves together. Those of you who are seated to the back, you will find yourselves in a little bit of discomfort this morning because a certain individual thought that the copper tubing that leads to the air conditioning units was more valuable to him than for you members of the congregation, and so it was stolen during the course of the week. The perpetrator obviously is not aware that the export of copper has been banned, but we are the ones that are facing the discomfort as a result, and we'll try our best to get that regularized as soon as possible. These are the kinds of expenses that we are called upon to deal with at the Mandir. Also, those of you who have been inconvenienced for the past weeks with parking at long distances and walking up, while it is good exercise, we will try our utmost to have the parking facilities ready by next week so that you can use the school compound adjacent to park when you come on a Sunday morning. So those are things that should be in place by next Sunday. I hand over to members of the children's class now, the Balvihar class, for their item this morning. Please welcome them with a round of applause.
अब तो मन की आगे को, अब तो मन की आगे को, शिव 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 बोल, शिव 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 बोल, अब तो
Just to announce who they are, we have Varad on harmonium, Shambhu, Isha, and Sanvi, all very regular members of our Balvihar class. Good job, guys.
Congratulations once more to our children. Please give them a round of applause. Congratulations to Varad, Shambhu, Sanvi, and Isha. And I'm very pleased to see an equal number of boys and girls who are represented there. That is wonderful. We need to see that in our congregation, right, fathers? Right, I should be talking to the camera, to the fathers who are not here. At this juncture, and in continuing with our very special service this morning, I want to invite to the podium someone who is no stranger to any of us. She's very hardworking, very dedicated, and very committed. Our very esteemed leader of the Sri Sivak Sabha Incorporated, Mrs. Anne-Marie Tiwari. Please give her a round of applause as we get the microphone to her during this segment of our Sunday morning service. So as we get one of the microphones to her. Yes. If I could get one of the young men to just bring the podium forward a little bit. One of the young men sitting in the front there. If we could just bring the podium a little closer. Prasad, can help me? Yes, thank you. Let's bring it back a little bit so that the microphone will reach. There we go. And one of the microphones, please, if that can be, the cords could reach as well.
Sitaram, everyone. I used to be able to shout across the room, way down to the back. So I think I can still do it. But we won't ask Aneji to do that. Sitaram once again, and welcome to all of you to our special observance of Father's Day. As Panditji remarked, it's a pity we don't see more fathers here more regularly, because when we were trying to get a count of how many fathers we regularly have, it's very, very difficult to see. But to those who are here, welcome. And we know that being a father can be a really, really difficult task. In fact, even being a mother, as we said the last time we met. And it's a common cliche that there is no book on parenting. We have to learn to adapt. We have to learn to use all our wits, sometimes just our voice and scream, and try our best to do what we think is best for our young people, our upcoming citizens, because from being young members, they become the nation builders, and we want them to have all the character, all the personality. And to whom do we look? The parents. So it is really lovely that we take a special day to recognize. We know every day is Father's Day, but it's good to have us think, what really is a father? Many of us have lost our fathers, and sometimes it's then you think back, some things you took for granted, but he was always there. In order to have, I won't say a different look, but to have a measured look at probably some advice to fathers, probably some dissection into what really we expect of a father, we have a special speaker today. Anil Maharaj Ji, or as he prefers to be called, Indira's husband, so we all know who that is, of Vrishni and Vasudha's papa, is a member of the Sri Krishna Mandir. He is the son of Sri Dudnath and Gita Pandit Vyas, and son-in-law of our regular members, Sri Murli and Palmer Gobardhan. He has held various business positions, including president, Chief Operating Officer, a new one I learned, COO, Group Finance Director, Chairman, Head of Strategy in multinational companies in the UK, USA, and across the Caribbean. But the best part is, he started his career shredding paper at the age of 18. And all he wants you to know after that is who he is now, and he is an avid student of Bhagavad Gita. So let us please welcome Anil Ji to the podium.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sitaram, everyone. Happy Father's Day to all of the women of the Mandir and beyond. Because come on, gentlemen, let's face it. Most of us were boys when we got married. But it took our wives to make us real men. Of course, some of us still work in progress. To my dear brothers, Pandit Rudra, Pandit Devendra, other Pandits here, to the Sri Krishna Mandir family here and overseas, thank you for having me here. To my Didi, Sri Anne-Marie Ji, to the Sri Sevak Sabha, thank you. Sri and Stri, Shiva and Parvati. Shiva, the receptacle. Parvati, the energy. Purush, Prakriti. Krishna, Radha. Vishnu, Lakshmi. Stri, the energy, the creative force that is considered feminine in nature. Not female, but feminine in nature. That can create, that causes action. But such energy needs a home. Such energy needs a receptacle. So Shiva without Parvati is lifeless. Put Parvati in his presence, he becomes alert. So Sri and Stri, this is what we represent here in society. This is what Sri Krishna Mandir represents. So today we are going to talk about, yes, it's a special day, Father's Day, but the discussion today is going to be about all of us, but with a particular focus on fathers. And it starts where it all begins, in the Bhagavatam. When the baby or the fetus is in the womb of a mother, that child has full remembrance of all of the past births and what is yet to come. That child understands Bhagwan in all of his manifestations, in all of her manifestations. And that child prays to Bhagwan not to be born. The child kicks against the mother's womb, praying to Bhagwan, "Hey Bhagwan Sri Vishnu, I want to come to you. I want to come to you." Meanwhile, the mother and father are just happy they're having a child, and they wish for one thing, for that child to be healthy. The baby is born. Suddenly, the parents have already labeled them doctor, attorney. They want all the different prosperities, go to these different schools, from one wish to many, from one sankalp to many. That child in the mother's womb, now become a baby, has three special qualities. One, that child is unaware of the outside world. That child is aware only of himself and herself. Secondly, that child has no fear of judgment and no fear of failure. I remember when Vrishni and Vasudha were babies, they were going up the altar, and I would always run and bring them back, and Mrs. Rampasad would buff me after and say, "Let the children express themselves." And she was absolutely right. Sri Krishna Mandir is a place for the children to come, go up to the altar, and to grow up. So the second quality of that child is unafraid of failure and unaware of judgment. And the third, very importantly, that child has no memory of the past, or very little, and no thoughts about the future. These three qualities of a child, as we mature, we have lost. So when that child now becomes in the early teens, 9, 10, early teens, something starts to change. The protective shield that once exists from the parents around the child begins to diminish as that child goes out into school, as that child interacts with the world. The awareness of that child moves from himself or herself outward. That child is now becoming aware of judgment, criticism, and that child now has memories enveloping. And that child is now seeing very close into the future, not too far out. Then as that child matures to late teens, early 20s, a phenomenal change occurs. The amount of data received by that child increases by 100% compared to when we were growing up at that same age, through social media, through the different aspects of the world. The thoughts about the future, grand ambitions for university, for career, all starts to flood the mind. The thoughts about having a young man, having a female companion, getting married starts to enter into the mind. And the anxiety sets in. Great accomplishments, but greater fear of failure. Then as that child matures to the 30s and 50s, something more remarkable happens. Regret tends to set in. You worry about the past. Did I make the right choices in life? Suddenly, the grand ambitions that we have suddenly somehow faded, as if worn down by the passage of time, as if the universe has defeated us. So then we decide to focus on our jobs, ensuring we have money for our children, looking after our health, and we go on through the cycle. We have children, we offer them on to the universe, and then we continue. And then we reach the age of 60 and over, and then the parents' protective shield that once existed is no longer there. That individual, 60 and over, now has more memories now. What if I did this, my life would have been better? Maybe I should not have taken this path. Questions arise. The grand ambitions have completely declined now to maintaining the physical body, to maintaining the social network, to being safe. Ironically, the needs at that age are identical to the needs of a newborn child. So this progression of the human body, which starts from the child in the mother's womb to the time now, we have seen that progression over a number of situations. And along the way, those three qualities change. The fear of judgment and failure. The ability now to focus on the outside world, and somehow it doesn't come back to the knowledge and the awareness of that which is accepting and receiving knowledge. The fear of criticism, the fear of failure, and the memories and the thoughts in our minds, the quality of the thoughts in our minds have declined. And this has occurred more so in the male members of society, and in particular the Hindu males. So, at that point in time, we say, listen, this is our karma. This is our lot in life. We have to endure it. Bhagwan is testing us. So we go through all of these things, and we justify now, and this is the weakness, in particular in the human male. By the time we mature, we then start to explain and justify why we are where we are. Why are these things happening to us? It is our karma. This is what we have to do. We will do it the best that we can. And we forget our greatness, just like how Arjuna forgot who he was. we as a Hindu society, we as a people in society, and in particular we as a Hindu male, forget our greatness, forget our purpose. Just like Hanumanji forgot who he was, and it took Jamwant, that bear, that incarnation of Brahma, to remind Hanumanji of who he is. Perhaps that is what I'm trying to do here today. To remind you of that Hanuman in you. To remind the men and the boys, yet to be men, of that Hanuman in you, that power that you have, that this world is meant to be lived in a happy, prosperous way. And yes, the world will throw things at you. The world will throw thunderbolts at you. And we justify that as this is our karma. Yes, it is our karma, but it is also our duty to stand up and fight and move forward. We have all endured different things. Some of us have endured the death of a close one. Some of us have endured being diagnosed with certain illnesses. Some of us have endured fracturing in our relationships. Some of us, and I know this very well, have endured being placed in situations where you're forced to sign documents, being forced to support decisions that you cannot be a part of. All of these things, whatever it is, whether it relates to money, relationships, health, are all things that are part of life, and that's what makes life so beautiful. But the difference between good and the difference between brilliant are those who realize the Hanuman in them. And for us to be awakened to that reality. So how do we do that? When the world slaps you in the face like Will Smith at the Oscars, what do you do? And the answer to that comes from a most powerful woman, Draupadi. And this is where I want the young boys, the men, regardless of the age, to pay close attention. Girls too, women too, but in particular the male. Draupadi wanted one thing. She wanted to find a husband that she would be proud of, but a husband with certain qualities. And she built herself. She prepared herself. She was chaste. She was studied. She took care of herself. She prayed. She did everything. And then as she continued to pray, something came into her mind. And she said, yes, I want a man to get married to, but a man with 5 qualities. And girls, if you're looking for a boy, and I hope you are looking for a boy at some point, there are 5 qualities to look for. And boys and young men, there are 5 qualities you have to develop. And here are the 5. First, Draupadi wanted someone who is wise. That is represented by Yudhishthira. Wise, who can make decisions, who can react to situations. The second quality is someone who is good at his job, good at the craft, be an exemplar, be a source of inspiration in terms of the job. And that represents Arjuna. The third quality is one who is brave and courageous, fearless. That represents Bhima. The fourth represents, and this is a very important one, patience. Knowing that there are no quick wins, knowing that there are no big steps in life, but a small step lead to brilliance, that's Nakul. And the fifth, good looking. But good looking refers to the quality of the mind, and yes, quality of the mind leads to a nice outward appearance. Good looking. The quality of the thoughts in that person's mind. So when the world throws something at you, when the world goes not according to plan, when you feel you're being treated unfairly, bad driving on your road, situations at work, even situations at home, when you feel that occurs, you don't get even, you get better. And that's what Draupadi did. To attract what she wanted, she had to become what she wanted before it occurred. If you want to be promoted at work to a manager, you have to start acting and behaving and making decisions as a manager. If you want wealth to come, you have to start acting and behaving in a way that will cause wealth to be attracted to you. You start to build merit. You start to build those 5 qualities. Sri Ram built those 5 qualities. When Manthara was the source of his exile to the forest, when Sri Ram returned to Ayodhya, she was one of the first he went to embrace. He didn't seek revenge. Sri Ram built those 5 qualities. Hanumanji, when he was struck on his chin by the thunderbolt by Lord Indra, and he got powerful, he remembered his powers. Did he go back for Lord Indra? No. He went to Sri Surya Dev to continue to learn, to continue to build himself, to prepare himself for the war in Lanka. So when life does not go according to plan, you don't get even, you don't justify, this is my karma. Yes, that may be true. You don't say, this is the way things are. You get better and better. Good is never good enough. Since when we as a people, good is good enough? Good will never be good enough, because you know why? If good is good enough, that is what we want our children to do. That is what we want the legacy to become. And that is not who we are. Remember your greatness. To the fathers in this mandir beyond. Remember your greatness as a child growing from 9, 10 into the teens. Remember the values that your parents have instilled, the values that you would have learned in this mandir. Good is never good enough. Life has a way of changing things in the most beautiful way. It's like some of us need a cup of coffee in the morning to wake up. Without that cup of coffee, the world is grim. But just drink that coffee, suddenly you could dance the world, you're hearing the birds chirp, you're feeling the breeze against your body. Nothing has changed other than your perspective due to a little stimulus. So when we come here in the mandir, this is what our rituals, this is what our dharma is about, to remind us of who we are. So when we pray to that Bhagwan in our mother's womb, in our next life, we will be born in one of 2 ways. Higher or even higher. This world is so beautiful, but we cannot, as a Hindu male, we cannot, as a people in society, accept mediocrity. As I always say, the only Rakshas in our generation is the Rakshas called the drift. The drift is something that we have great intentions, like New Year's resolutions. We go out there, day number 5, we forget. That is the drift. The momentum of life has a way of distracting us, has a way of changing our approach. That's the only Rakshas. But yet we, as a people, come, we meet an obstacle, go to the Pandit, go to our gurus, do a Graha Puja. You don't like the answer, go to another Pandit. You don't like the answer, go to someone else. And we go and pray, we change around the murtis, we do different rituals, whatever it is. Why? The source of the problem is not out there, the source is in here, which is good news, because if the source is in here, you can do something about it. This world is so beautiful. Do you not remember the ambitions that we all had as a child in our 20s and 30s? Some of us would have exceeded that, others may not have. But we are where we are today. And we are where we are today, and where we are today is perfect. Many of us more in the senior years have regrets. We keep talking about different things, but there was no other outcome to be where we are today. The decisions that we made at the time were the only ones possible. There was no alternative. There's no such thing as a regret. There's no such thing as a mistake that we made in the past, because at the time there was no other alternative. The so-called hindsight is easy to see. And to say there was an alternative in our lives is the definition of being a hypocrite. And to not having gratitude for the present moment. So we are where we are. As Jamwan said to Sri Hanumanji, O Hanumanji, awaken, awaken. He says, Kahai Richapati Sunu Hanumana, Kahai Richapati Sunu Hanumana, Kachupasari Rahiu Balavana. Hey Hanumanji, awaken. Awaken, remember your ancestry, remember your pitris, their greatness, remember your parents. Remember the values, remember the greatness that you can achieve. Get up, stand, and do your duty. And so too we must awaken that Hanuman in us. Cut the past, as we say often in Bhagavad Gita. As difficult as it is, cut the past. Do not wear it on your face. Do not wear it on your shoulders and in your mind. Sometimes we have arguments with people 2 days ago, and we're still arguing with them now. Cut it. Drop the apprehensions of the future, and remember Draupadi's 5 qualities. These 5 qualities will give you the power to be Hanuman. These 5 qualities will give you the power to manifest whatever you want in this world. And these 5 qualities will cause the enjoyment of life to be higher. So as we conclude, I want to leave you with this. Once upon a time, there was a professor. That professor was the #1 professor in all of this world. But the dean of the university called him in for a meeting. He said, I have a concern about you. The professor said, what? This is #1 professor at the time in the world. He said, every year for this class, the classes are graduating, you give the exact same questions. You do not change the questions. But yet the pass rate is dropping, the failure rate is going up. Why? The professor said, well, you know, in this world, matter is constant. Matter cannot be created or destroyed, it could just change. So too, in this world, there are no new questions. There are no new questions you could ask yourself. Maybe a modification of the question. But think about it. There are no new questions you could ever ask yourself. Why is the crime so high? But if the answer remains the same, there is no progress. Therefore, the students who give me the same answer year after year, term after term, to the same question, I fail them because there's no progress. Why is the crime so high? Same answer. Why are successive governments not dealing about it? Same answer. Where is the big fish? Well, maybe King's Wharf Fish Market somewhere. I don't know. So the professor said, in this world, there are no new questions. But the answer has to change. So too, the questions that we've been asking ourselves over and over, we need a different answer. And when we achieve that particular state of awareness, there are no answers, there are no questions. The questions drop. And all that remains is the answer. So with that said, thank you for having me before you. This is a wonderful world. We have the power to change our existing status regardless of our age in life. And let's go out there and really show Bhagwan, hey, I prayed to you all of my life. Now when I'm going to die, you will be chanting my name. Jai Sri Ram.
Thank you so much, Anilji. And don't go very far, please. Just a little token to say thank you, sir. And as usual, very simple, and I'm sure each one has got a lesson to take home, and I'm sure our fathers have got to think in. So thank you very much, sir, on behalf of all the members of the Mandir. So, in our haste to continue, I forgot to thank the children of the children's class for that soulful rendition. It really touches you when these little children come forward and they can surprise us with how melodious they were and on time, in time, everything. So thank you very much, Miss, for preparing them. And we really need to see a rebuild of our children's class, because some days we have 2 and 3. We have to grow. So this was our main feature, and we would like to, on behalf of the Sri Sevak Sabha, the Women's Service League, and on behalf of everyone here, to wish all our male members Happy Male Day, and all the fathers, Happy Father's Day. Anilji has given you a lot to think about. He has given all of us a lot to think about. And at this juncture, I'd like to ask our ladies who have been prepped to present a little token to our gentlemen on Father's Day. Please come forward. Now, we have some plants outside, the dragon fruit plants outside. You all can have one also. You have a double gift. They were asking if the fathers could stand so they can see them easily, please. Can all our fathers stand, please? Our first father here, yes. Just a little FYI for your information. If it does not work, please tell me. Now, the rest of your treat would be after service. You'll be served some delicious doubles and I think some samosa, and you have your dragon fruit plant to collect, okay? Thank you all very much and enjoy the rest of the day. I'm sure you'll get some lovely Father's bhajans now.
Thank you very much, Anne-Marie. Please give her a round of applause. And thank you very much to the mothers of the Sri Sevak Sabha. At this juncture, we will have Aarti for the next 15 minutes or so. We will run slightly late today. There are thalis that are prepared at the front here, so all children, you please come forward, take one of the thalis, go to your father, place and mother, if they're both here, place flowers on their head and perform their Aarti. We hand over to members of the group, and while that is ongoing, those of you who want to come forward and perform your Aarti before the murtis, we invite you to do so as well.
मानस भजरे गुरु चरणम दोस्तर भव सागर तरणम मानस भजरे गुरु चरणम दोस्तर भव सागर तरणम मानस भजरे गुरु गुरुचरणं दूसर भव सागर तरणम्
मानस भज रे गुरुचरणं दूसर भव सागर तरणम्
मानस भज रे गुरुचरणं दूसर भव सागर तरणम्
गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय
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 भोलेनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
भोलेनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
भोलेनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
भोलेनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवो
अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवो
ओंकारं बाबा ओंकारं बाबा ओंकारं बाबा ओम नमो बाबा ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः ओम
नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवो
अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवो
ओंकारं बाबा ओंकारं बाबा ओंकारं बाबा ओम नमो बाबा
ओंकारं बाबा ओंकारं बाबा ओंकारं बाबा ओम नमो बाबा
गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय
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 भोलेनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
भोलेनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
भोलेनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
भोलेनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
मानस भजले गुरु चरणं दूसर भव सागर तरणम्
मानस भजरे गुरु चरणे दूसर भव सागर तरणम्
मानस भजरे गुरु चरणं दूसर भव सागर तरणम्
मानस भजरे गुरु चरणे दूसर भव सागर तरणम्
दूसर भव सागर तरणम् दूसर भव सागर तरणम्
भावना से हरे हरे कृष्णा बोलिए, हरे कृष्णा बोलिए, रहेंगे वो साथ ना कभी भी डोलिए। हाँ, भावना से हरे हरे कृष्णा बोलिए, हरे कृष्णा बोलिए, रहेंगे वो साथ ना कभी भी डोलिए। वो बंद है जो मन की आंखें वो खोलिए, बंद है जो मन की आंखें वो खोलिए, रहेंगे वो साथ ना कभी भी डोलिए। हाँ, भावना से हरे हरे कृष्णा बोलिए, हरे कृष्णा बोलिए, रहेंगे वो साथ ना कभी भी डोलिए। धन्ना की जैसे भक्ति करो, धन्ना की जैसे भक्ति करो, आने को होंगे रे मजबूर वो, जैसे सुदामा के थे किए, जैसे सुदामा के थे किए, कर देंगे तेरे भी दुख दूर वो। श्रद्धा का मीठा, श्रद्धा का मीठा मीठा रस घोलिए, हज रस घोलिए, रहेंगे वो साथ ना कभी भी डोलिए। हाँ, भावना से हरे हरे कृष्णा बोलिए, हरे कृष्णा बोलिए, रहेंगे वो साथ ना कभी भी डोलिए। द्रौपदी जैसे करना पुकार, द्रौपदी जैसे करना पुकार, नंदा की जैसी लगन चाहिए, मांगे प्यार वो रस खान सा, मांगे प्यार वो रस खान सा, सूरदास जैसा मन चाहिए, मीरा से प्रेम, मीरा जैसे प्रेम की तरज ढोलिए, तरज ढोलिए, रहेंगे वो साथ ना कभी भी डोलिए। हाँ, भावना से हरे हरे कृष्णा बोलिए, हरे कृष्णा बोलिए, रहेंगे वो साथ ना कभी भी डोलिए। वो बंद है जो मन की आंखें वो खोलिए, बंद है जो मन की आंखें वो खोलिए, रहेंगे वो साथ ना कभी भी डोलिए। हाँ, भावना से हरे हरे कृष्णा बोलिए, हरे कृष्णा बोलिए, रहेंगे वो साथ ना कभी भी डोलिए। भावना से हरे हरे कृष्णा बोलिए, हरे कृष्णा बोलिए, रहेंगे वो साथ ना कभी भी डोलिए। हाँ, रहेंगे वो साथ ना कभी भी डोलिए। हाँ, रहेंगे वो साथ ना कभी भी डोलिए।
जय त्रिपुरारी भवभयहारी दुःखहारे हर नमः शिवाय।
जय त्रिपुरारी भवभयहारी दुःखहारी हर नमः शिवाय।
जय त्रिपुरारी भवभयहारी दुःखहारी हर नमः शिवाय।
जय त्रिपुरारी भवभयहारी दुःखहारी हर
निर्मल गंगा भरी कंठ में माल भुजंगा गोरी घाट विभूति विराजे मृगशाला युध शरीन गंगा मृगशाला युध शरीन गंगा जय गिरी जय गिरीश जय महाईश जगदीश ईश हर नमः शिवाय जय त्रिपुरारी भवभयहारी दुःखहारी हर नमः शिवाय मस्तक पर चंद्रमा विराजे
मस्तक पर चंद्रमा
विराजे मोक्ष प्रदायक नेत्र सुहावे
मोक्ष प्रदायक नेत्र सुहावे
एक हाथ में त्रिशूल धारी दूजे कर में डमरू साजे जय
वीर जय महादेव खहरहि वीर हर नमः शिवाय जय त्रिपुरारी भवभयहारी दुःखहारी हर नमः शिवाय हाथों कभी वेदों की धारा
दूर करो चिंता की नारा
दूर करो चिंता की धारा
तो निर्मल विवेक विनाशी
तो निर्मल विवेक अविनाशी
नित प्रति गाओ गान तुम्हारा
नित प्रति गाओ गान तुम्हारा
जय
जय उमेश आदेश शीर्ष प्रिय गंगाधर हर नमः शिवाय जय त्रिपुरारी भवभयहारी दुःखहारी हर नमः शिवाय
जय त्रिपुरारी भवभयहारी
हर नमः शिवाय
नमः शिवाय हर नमः शिवाय
नमः शिवाय हरे नमः शिवाय
नमः शिवाय हर नमः शिवाय
नमः शिवाय हरे नमः शिवाय
जय त्रिपुरारी भवभयहारी दुःखहारी हर 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 नमः शिवाय
Prem se बोले उमापति महादेव की जय. I must apologize for the sound quality this morning. We need to address that matter quite urgently. So we will be making attempts to address that as soon as possible. Some of it are equipment related, so we will be trying to address that as soon as possible. This morning, before we conclude with final Aarti and closing prayer, so I apologize to the musicians and the singers and indeed to everyone who is listening on. We really need to do better in terms of this. Again, special welcome to everyone this morning for attending this morning's service and for participating either physically or virtually this morning. To the mothers of the Sri Sivak Sabha, we want to extend our very heartfelt thanks on behalf of all fathers for the wonderful, wonderful program that was done this morning, and particularly to our children of the Balvihar class. Thank you so much, young ones, for that wonderful item, and also to Anilji, who never fails to inspire us whenever he speaks. And I'm sure we all felt that sense of inspiration from his very wonderful and very powerful message. So please, let us give Anil a round of applause this morning. Those of you who want to make contributions towards the upkeep and running of the Mandir, we invite you to do so by seeing any member of the management committee after the service, and you can give your donations. Particularly this morning, I want to, on behalf of all of us, extend our support and our solidarity with all of the flood victims throughout South Trinidad. South Trinidad in the past week has been very, very hard hit. Persons in Woodland, in Penal, in Barrackpore, in Moruga, and you name it across the Southland have been adversely impacted by flooding directly and indirectly. And we express our solidarity through the hard work of the members of the management committee and in particular the social outreach committee. We have yesterday been able to distribute 35 hampers. We want to thank the devotees who gave contributions towards that. And those 35 hampers were distributed via the school network in the various flood-affected communities. So what we did is we liaised with the principals of the various schools who would be on the ground and would be aware of the families and the students who are impacted, and we were able to give those hampers to those persons. But we don't stop there. We are still trying to assist people getting back on their feet, particularly school children who lost their books, their uniforms, and things of that nature, as well as to provide much needed cleaning supplies and sanitation supplies, because when the flood waters subside, and I don't think any of us, with the exception of one gentleman, who might be able to recognize this with some level of familiarity, the stench that is left behind from the muck and the dirt and so on is unbearable, and it is quite unsanitary. So we're inviting you, if you want to make contributions to assist us, to assist our brothers and sisters who have been impacted, to please do so by seeing Mr. Gangadin Sinanan or Mrs. Neela Maharaj, our Vice Chairman and our current Treasurer, respectively. And you could give your donations and you could feel assured that they will be targeted to the persons who are in need so that we can assist them in their time of need. So we are making that appeal for those of you who would like to contribute in that way. This concludes our announcements for this morning, save and except to say, those of you celebrating birthdays, those of you celebrating anniversaries, or for the young ones who are celebrating exam done, all of that, we want to wish you Bhagwan Ji's blessings. May you continue to enjoy a very safe, a very powerful, and very productive week ahead. And to all fathers, both of you who are here and those looking on, happy, happy Father's Day. May Bhagwan bless us all. We stand for now. Final Aarti and closing prayer.
जय जगदीश हरि स्वामी जय जगदीश हरि भक्त जनों के संगत दास जनों के संगत क्षण में दूर करी ओम जय जगदीश हरि ध्यावे फल पावे दुख बिन से मन
सेवक तुम स्वामी, हम सेवक तुम स्वामी, कृपा करो भरता। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, तुम हो वेग अगोचर सबके प्राणपति, स्वामी सबके प्राणपति। किस विधि मिलो दया में, किस विधि मिलो दया में, तुम हो मैं कुमति। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, दीन बंधु दुख हरता, तुम रक्षक मेरे, स्वामी तुम रक्षक मेरे। अपने हाथ उठाओ, अपने हाथ उठाओ, द्वार परासीरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, विषय विकार मिटाओ, पाप हरो देवा, स्वामी पाप हरो देवा। श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ, श्रद्धा प्रेम बढ़ाओ, संतन की सेवा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, तन मन धन सब है तेरा, स्वामी सब कुछ है तेरा। तेरा तुझको अर्पण, तेरा तुझको अर्पण, क्या लागे मेरा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, ओम जय जगदीश हरे, स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। हाथ जनों के संकट, दास जनों के संकट, क्षण में दूर करे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, ओम जय जगदीश हरे, ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
Hari Om. O Prabhu, we come before you in complete and total surrender. We ask you to inspire us all, guide our thoughts and our actions at all times. We pray for all fathers this morning. May we be directed to perform the noble acts and to provide that example and to be those exemplars for our younger ones to follow. If we make mistakes, O Prabhu, we ask you to redirect our actions. If we have any shortcomings, as we do, please inspire us to be better. We pray for all persons this morning who may be ailing, those persons who have lost their loved ones, those persons who have lost their fathers, that you would indeed bless them all, inspire them and protect them. For you are mother, you are father, you are family, you are friend, you are knowledge, you are wealth, you are everything to us, O Prabhu. We pray in one voice before you. Hari Om. Tvameva Mata Ch Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Ch Seka Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Asato Ma Sargamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. प्रेम से बोले श्री गणेश भगवान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, आज शक्ति जगदम्बा देवी मैया की जय, श्री पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय। प्रेम से बोले श्री सच्चे सनातन धर्म की। सबको जय सीताराम, जय सीताराम, जय सीताराम। May Bhagwan bless us all, particularly all fathers. Happy Father's Day to each and every one. Again, those of you, be reminded of the refreshments provided. You are getting doubles hot on the spot as you exit the mandir this morning. And please enjoy the rest of your day. See you next Sunday. Sitaramon.